Hello. Okay, let's do some Zecher Lemaaseh Bereshis L'Kavod Shabbos Kodesh. Let's do the last topic that we're going to do on lizards. This is called the legless lizard. Now, normally, there's 5 differences between lizards and snakes, and this we have to talk about that here because these legless lizards look exactly like snakes. So the differences are snakes have forked tongues, legless lizards do not. Snakes have no eyelids. Some of the legless lizards do. Most of them do actually. Snakes have no external ear holes, ear openings, whereas legless lizards do. Snakes have these incredible jaws that they can open up amazingly flexibly wide to eat prey much bigger than their own heads, and legless lizards cannot, even though there's one exception. And snakes, if they lose their tail, cannot grow it back, and the legless lizards can. So we have legless lizards to talk about, worm lizards, and what's called glass snakes, and they're also called glass lizards, and they are lizards. They're not snakes actually. Okay. So anyway, these kind of critters, these legless lizards, they spend a lot of their time burrowing under the ground for 2 reasons: to keep cool, and also that's where their food is. They're eating earthworms or centipedes or millipedes, woodlice that are right under the ground, in the sand or in the dirt. And Hashem designed them for tunneling in the sand. That's why they have no external ears. They have very small eyes. They have no legs. And they have smooth scales. It all helps them to move smoothly through the sand and the dirt. Now, the eyes do have movable eyelids to protect them from the dirt as they're going through. And the fact that they have no external ear, so that's one less thing to slow them down in burrowing under the ground. Let me just show you some pictures here. The top one is a glass lizard in Florida, the island glass lizard. The middle one is the hooded legless lizard. And the bottom one is the European slowworm. Now, these glass snakes, which are really glass lizards, but that's what they're called, they have some in Florida. They have them in Europe. They live in India and China and Burma and Morocco as well. They live in fields among heaps of stones and in bare rocky places. And they hide under fallen leaves or they'll burrow just below the surface. The European glass snake eats mostly grasshoppers, and the American glass snake eats earthworms. The glass snake, 2/3 of their length is their tail. Now, like most lizards, or many lizards, the glass snake can shed their tails when they're in danger. But there's a big difference. All other lizards, when they drop off their tail, they drop it off in one piece. Why is this one called the glass lizard or the glass snake? Because their tail drops off in a few pieces. And since their tail is so long, like as we said, it's 2/3 of their body. So each piece that falls off is close to the size of the body that remains. So it really looks like the animal just fell apart into a bunch of pieces like a broken glass. And that's why it's called the glass snake. So this top picture is a glass snake, and the bottom one is called the slow worm.
Can you show them where the tail is?
Well, the tail of this glass snake is from here all the way to there. All that is tail. This is the body and the head. Then we have these worm lizards, which look more like worms than lizards. They have tiny eyes covered by transparent scales that you can see through, and they mainly rely on their taste and their smell and their hearing to find their way around. And most of these species can also drop off their tails, but they cannot grow new tails back. The checkered worm lizard lives in rocky country in the woods in North Africa, and when they're threatened, they roll themselves up into a ball. The largest is the white worm lizard of South America, and it can grow almost 2 feet long. And it goes deep into the nests of leaf-cutting ants to eat them. The slow worms, their main diet are small slugs, which actually makes them beneficial for people that have gardens, because the slugs eat up their plants and their vegetables. And this slow worms eat up those slugs, so that makes them a friend of people. The worm lizard has a way, Hashem gave it this way of waving its tail in a way that looks like the way a snake's head, when he's moving his head, to look like he's threatening something. So this helps it to startle predators, giving it enough time to burrow under the sand. Now this is two more pictures. This is this black one is the European glass snake, which is 3 feet long. And the other one is a worm lizard in the desert in Africa, where they crawl into the ants' nests and eat them, and they're immune to the ants' bites. Okay, so that finishes our lizards, and next week, Mitzvah Hashem, we will start on crocodiles and alligators. Good Shabbos.